Hello, welcome to Can't Believe It, day 17 of the 21 days of group devotion. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I can see you guys starting to join me. Give me a thumbs up that you can hear me, and let me know what corner of the planet you are in, what city. And let me know how you're feeling today. Hello, Costa Rica, London, Portland, Oregon, wonderful Cork in Ireland. Great to see you guys. Texas, wonderful. I've been really feeling this morning. I went on my daily walk, which I would do normally, but in these times makes you appreciate it even more. And hi, gorgeous Clay Hill. And yeah, what really came to me today was really about the extremes of life and how, and this is true at all times, but especially now, how we are being invited to really hold the opposites. Marianne Woodman spoke a lot about this, and she said that the role of the conscious feminine was to hold the opposites of life. I call it the extremes of life, the highs and the lows. And in my opinion, if we are to fully embrace our lives and fully be embodied as a soul, having a human experience, it is the extremes of life that we are able to live fully when we have an open heart and when we are fully conscious. And if we are fully conscious, if we are fully embodied, and if we have the courage to keep our heart open, it is through these extremes of life that we grow the most and that are the most rewarding. And also on the polar end, when we have an open heart and we choose to be fully embodied and if we choose to be fully conscious, it is also through the extremes of life that life can be most difficult. I feel like we tend to have a tendency towards either transcendence or immanence, meaning we either want to go up to the heavens or stay here grounded on earth. And those who tend to lean towards transcendence, what those people, what us need to practice is embodiment, and then the opposite goes for the opposite. And it's all in a continuum. We exist in the continuum. But these moments that we're living in, I think that the invitation is for us to witness both. Anyone who's been through an extreme life experience, whether it's like a death, a birth, any of the big gateways of life, you'll know that, say for example, when you experience great grief, it can feel like excruciating suffering, deep sadness. And actually, in these moments, we can also experience extreme love, because the grief can't possibly be there had the love not been there. And at those moments, we can also experience great humor. And I think this is what we're in the mix of at the moment. I know that when things are serious, it can feel like, oh my gosh, how could I possibly be laughing right now? How could I possibly, just like look at the things that I'm joyful for? But actually, it is not a either or, it is not a but, it is an and. How can we hold both in the container? If we just go into, let's just look at the positive and let's just look at gratitude without looking at the reality and the suffering and the fear and the things that are very real and of this world, then we're just bypassing. But if we just stay in the suffering and the difficulty, then we can't move through it as well, and we get really weighted down and logged down. And so I think that these moments, like any extreme moment, are opportunities and invitations to be able to master the skill. And I think it's a lifelong skill. Gosh, that's my experience anyway, of being able to be in the extremes of life at the same time. You know, this year when I gave birth to my son, I really noticed how actually the pain of birth and the ecstasy of birth weren't polar opposite. They were close to each other. And so often we can see the positive and the negative experiences as being opposite to each other. But anyone who's heard someone in the throes of laughter and someone who is in the throes of hysterical crying, they can sound quite similar. So what I'm discovering constantly is perhaps exist on either end of the spectrum. Perhaps it's more of a circle. And perhaps when we allow ourselves to lean into the experience, whether it's tragedy, grief, hurt, sorrow, if it's that side of it, then we can break through to experience the compassion, the love. Anyone who's properly suffered has the capacity to hold another who is suffering. It's not until we experience that ourselves that we can fully stay there without attaching ourselves to it. So I want to encourage us to acknowledge the opposites, to acknowledge the extremes that we're living in, and to not feel guilty for holding both together, right? I think it's very necessary. And I'd like to lead us in just a short meditation so that we can acknowledge how we're feeling, regardless of how it is. It doesn't matter if you're feeling good or uncomfortable or frustrated. These are all temporary states of being. So acknowledging that, and in the experience of that, offering up and surrendering to a state of being held, regardless of how we are feeling. Okay, so I'm going to lead that meditation now. So if you can, just get comfortable. You can sit down, lay down if you want. It won't be a long one. So if you're in the middle of your busy day, I promise I won't make it very long. It's very cold here where I am. So all of a sudden it's gotten cold. So we're going to start by opening sacred soul space, hands at prayer, deep breath in, deep breath out. Bringing your hands up to just above your crown, opening around and down to prayer. Acknowledging the group energy of all of us who have gathered and will be gathering. Choosing to be held by that strength of the circle, of the web that we are weaving together. Bringing our hands up to just above our crowns, open and around, back to your heart. And placing your hands wherever is comfortable. I like to place mine palm up. You can even hold them like this if you like. Closing your eyes if they're not already closed. I'm just going to put some soft music on. And slowing down your breath. So you're breathing in from the front and the back and the left and the right of your heart. Inviting your breath to deepen and find its natural rhythm. Syncing your breath in with the breath of life. Breathing as deeply as your body allows right now. And if for whatever reason you cannot breathe deeply, that's fine. Allow your lungs to fill up and exhale in whatever way they can right now. Inviting your shoulders to drop, your jaw to drop, and any part of your body that is tense to loosen. Inviting your brow to soften and any part of you that is trying to control or defend or make something happen, inviting that part of you to surrender to the great mystery that is always informing us. To the great intelligence that is woven through everything. That same intelligence that tells flowers when to bloom is within you too. Just for now, surrendering to that, bowing to that, being held by that. And from the center of your heart, offering up however it is that you're feeling right now to that great mystery. Nothing for you to do or change. Just acknowledge. With no judgment. Surrendering to that. Breathe. And despite the way you're feeling, maybe it's comfortable, maybe it's uncomfortable, but despite all of that, noticing what's holding you right now. The chair, the room you're in, the ground that you are on, whether it's the floor in an apartment or maybe you're in your garden if you have one, wherever you find yourself. Feeling the four walls, feeling gravity holding you, feeling the air holding you, feeling my voice holding you, feeling the energy of the group holding you. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And just finding a little bit of peace here and being held regardless of where you find yourself or how you find yourself. Breathe. Acknowledging what's holding you. Breathe. Feeling held and supported. Breathe. Anchoring into the center of the heart. Bringing your hands to prayer. Opening your eyes. Now closing the joint soul space. And closing the individual soul space. So I hope that was supportive in some way. I hope that regardless of what's happening, both now and in the future, that we all remember that it's okay to experience both things at the same time. When we are going through something difficult, or if we have someone in our life who is going through something difficult, it's possible to hold both truths at once. So often in relationships, we feel like we have to endure what the others are enduring. It doesn't mean that we become disassociative to it. Doesn't mean that we cut off from it, but we can experience both at the same time. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll be back again same time tomorrow. If you've missed the previous days that I've been recording, all the videos are at rebeccacampbell.me/devotion. It'll redirect to where all the videos are. You don't have to sign up or anything. So yeah, love you very much.